Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Hey, if you're new here. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Hannah and I'm a 24-year-old mum to a 20-month-old little girl who is currently sharing Charlie's journey of transferring her to her cot and sleeping in her own cot instead of sleeping in our bed. I am a breastfeeding mum and have done since the start, and we're now struggling to get her into her cot. Watch that if you're at that stage. If you're not and you've just found me through the search engine because you're looking at must-have newborn essentials, then hopefully you've come to the right place. I'm going to be sharing with you everything that I feel like you need when you're about to have a baby. I hope you guys find this video helpful, and yeah, let's get on with it. So I'm going to start off with the baby nursery items. However, your baby will stay in your room until they're about 6 months, or if you're Talia, a bit longer than that. The first item that is a must-have is a cot. Now, we started off with a Next to Me, which I feel like a lot of people actually tend to use, and then we got a cot for a bit later. Our situation, we could only fit a Next to Me cot in our room because we was in a 1-bed flat, so we used that until she was 6 months, and then she came into our bed. Not ideal, but we literally physically had no room to put her cot in. We did have a cot, but we had no room to put it, so we used a Next to Me cot until she was 6 months, and then yeah, she just came into our bed. In terms of buying a cot, if you buy a brand new one, great, everything should be there. If you don't and you're buying it second hand, make sure that you've got all the parts and everything that you need for the cot. Make sure there's no broken or any missing pieces for the cot, and also never use a second-hand mattress. Well, if you know why, let me know in the comments, because I don't actually know why. And brand new mattress, it needs to be firm and waterproof. I mean, I'm guessing ours was waterproof for our Next to Me, but I think we just got like a waterproof protector, so we put that on as well. Mattress must fit the cot perfectly, so like no gaps around the edges. Okay, so bedding for the cot. You don't actually need a lot of bedding. It's not like they have like a duvet or anything, so you just need some sleeping bags and some sheets. Depending on what time of year you have your baby, you could use a light blanket as well, but obviously depending on what age your baby is, there's a risk that they could put the blanket over their head, but then I guess that's why you have a light one. Oh, and another thing is, when you have your baby in the Next to Me or the cot or whatever, make sure that they're as low down the bed as they can, so like basically their feet should be touching the bottom of the cot. Also, don't have any cot bumpers, toys, teddies or anything like that in the cot, or don't have any like duvets or anything, just so that reduces the risk of SIDS. Okay, so another thing that is an essential, a must-have, is a baby monitor. There are so many baby monitors out there, and obviously you choose what is the right one for you, but yeah, these are really handy to have. Again, like we use it for Talia. We didn't use it as much when we was in the flat, but like after moving house we use it much more now, because obviously where she's upstairs in bed and we're downstairs, we can see her. Okay, so another must-have, I don't know if this is like a proper must-have, but a night light. You probably will want one, to be fair. We just used our light. We've got a red light that we put on, so it's not like as luminous as like a blue white light, if that makes sense, but we just use that. To begin with, you will be getting up in the night and everything, you'll be changing her bum or their bum, I don't know. Now, another must-have is clothes storage. So when we were in the flat, because we really were minimal and doing as much as we could with what we had, we used our chest of drawers. So we took out our clothes, we bought a wardrobe, put our clothes in the wardrobe, and then put the baby's clothes in a chest of drawers. For the first 6 months, babies only really wear sleep suits and vest tops. They have poo explosions, so you just keep changing them. Another thing is dummies. So we didn't really use dummies for Talia. She went through a phase of having a dummy for literally like, I'm gonna say not even a month, and that was just because I think she was teething and uncomfortable, so we gave her a dummy just to suck on, because I found that she was having boob or breast milk to try and help with the comfort. If you do go down the dummy route, dummies can go missing, so you might want to have a few just as backup. If you are breastfeeding, they actually say not to give a dummy straight away and let them like get used to having breast milk, because I think the motion of how they suck from breast milk to a dummy is different. So if you can get them latch your boob, then stay at it for a little bit. I'm going to talk about playtime essentials. Obviously, when your baby is little they don't actually play with a lot of toys. We had a baby swing for Talia, and I think we put her in that quite early on. We found that also really useful when like me and Chris would be having our dinner, and we could put her in there just so she's like somewhat happy, like she's content, do you know what I mean? Another thing is a play mat, simple toys. So I can actually show you some of the toys that I had for Talia. Like rattles like this, black and white, because babies can only see black and white to begin with. Rattles, this was a Fisher Price set. It came with a tambourine, so it came with 2 of these, which is soft there. Another soft teddy toy idea, which actually Talia doesn't like, but we got given from like a baby shower, is this elephant. So Talia is actually really freaking scared of this.
Things.
I'm gonna stop it because yeah, you get the idea. And it also we also had like the black and white sensory card. Another topic that I'm going to talk to you guys about is baby feeding essentials. So first of all, you have to obviously decide, are you going to breastfeed or formula feed? One of the first things that I would say is a must is birth cloths. Now we have so many muzzies, and do you know what? I still use them now. Like, I feel like no matter how many you buy, you'll always use them. When you have a baby, like a newborn, you use them all the time because they're sick quite a bit. They're also good for wiping up after baby-led weaning. Another thing that I don't personally think is a must-have is a breastfeeding cover. I did have one, but I didn't use it a lot. Now, I kind of had the attitude where I chose to breastfeed, like I wanted to breastfeed, and luckily I could breastfeed. The thing in my head at the time was, I don't care where I am, who's around me, I need to feed my baby. And I was one of those annoying people, because I know there's some people out there that'd be like, nope, you couldn't do it in here, that's wrong, you shouldn't do that. And I just had the mindset that I needed to feed my baby. In a breastfeeding cover, I mean, I did, because I was aware that in some places, like, you kind of feel like you do need to cover up. And to be honest, I bought a breastfeeding cover, but on the whole, you can use like a top or whatever you're wearing. Like, there's, you know, you always have something that you can cover up with. Okay, now another thing that I've wrote down is a feeding cushion. I do get it, because I don't know why, but I brung one of my pillows that I had in my house to hospital with me, and I use that to start with as like where I would lie it down, and then I'd put Talia on me to feed her. And then I used that for quite a while when we came home, and then I don't know what I did after that. Bibs is another must-have. Because Talia wasn't a dribbly baby, bibs weren't something that we put Talia in. We basically use them when we started baby-led weaning, and on that odd occasion where she would be a bit more dribbly. Okay, another thing is breast pump. So there are different breast pumps. I didn't actually use a breast pump, but I bought one because I didn't know how it was gonna go. I exclusively breastfed my baby, and I still do now. So another thing going along the lines of breastfeeding and stuff like that is milk storage pots or bags. Now, I did buy bags, but again, I didn't need them. Depending on how you go about breastfeeding, if you are pumping, you can actually freeze it. I don't know how long you can freeze it for, because that wasn't something that I needed to do, but it's something that you can do, and then you just get the milk out when you're ready. Worth looking into if that is the route that you're going to take. If you are taking the route of formula milk or breastfeeding, breast pumping, and then having breast milk, but not from your boob, feeding bottles and teats. So again, we got some like Tommy Tippy ones, but we didn't use them. We only actually use them now because Talia has cow's milk, and we started using them for that, but we didn't use them for a good year or so. A bottle warmer, I didn't need this, but a must have if you are pumping or bottle feeding. I think the Newbie, is that how you say it? They've got a good bottle warmer thing, but I honestly don't know too much into that. So yeah, but it's worth, when you're going out, obviously you want hot milk, so it's worth researching that if that is the route that you're going to take. Bottles sterilising gear, we had a Tommy Tippy steriliser. The next couple of things are a bottle brush and a bottle drying rack. So the bottle brush I think is a must have, because it really does help getting the inside of the bottle. A bottle drying rack, it isn't an essential item. If you don't have a lot of room left on your like drying rack and you need somewhere to dry them and you don't have a lot of space, then I think maybe that is a good option to go down. But yeah, okay, the next checklist that I'm going to share with you, nappy changing checklist, is a changing table. So this isn't necessarily a must-have because, again, going back to when we was in the flat, we didn't have enough room for a changing table, so we just had a changing mat. Nappies. The next thing is wipes. I think they recommend to begin with either using cotton wool balls or water wipes because they're very sensitive on baby's bum. We have these thread and flow nappies and we buy this big box of 12 for like £7.20. A barrier cream, they do get nappy rash, so it is something that you most definitely need. Another one is a nappy bin. Now, granted, it does stink. Like, the poos do smell. And with that, you might actually want to get some scented nappy bags. But a nappy bin, we didn't have the room for it. It wasn't an essential item for us. If you have the room and you want to spend the money, then by all means go out and buy one because I think it does actually help. The next checklist now is baby clothing essentials. Yeah, obviously keep in mind that babies do grow quickly. If you buy smaller sizes, then that's fine, but they obviously might grow out of them super quick. When it comes to like hospital bags and what you buy, I think I remember taking a few different different sizes with us for Talia, but ultimately if you get a bigger size, they're going to grow into it, so it's cheaper to do that. Baby grows are number one. I would recommend just having at least a week's worth, and obviously that's dependent on when you have your baby as well. If you have a winter baby, then you might need more because obviously washing, it might be harder to get through in the winter. If you have a baby in the summer, those 13 months when they are literally just shitting everywhere, then you can put washing out on the line, so it's not as bad. But yeah, vest. Talia has worn a vest up from day one. Like, I think that is an essential. I think most people think it's an essential, but if you don't, I don't know, do you? Socks or booties? I would say socks is a must, booties not really. As long as they've got something to cover their feet up. On the whole, sleep suits do have feet, so they usually are covered up, to be fair. A sun hat, so if your baby is a summer baby, it will definitely need a sun hat. A wool or cotton hat, so you will need that if you have a winter baby. Mittens. Now, mittens is a must to begin with because they do scratch themselves a lot. I don't think you need to put mittens on them all the time. A lot of sleep suits actually have like the foldable mittens, so you can like put them over their hands. You can have the optional like special outfit, like if you've got something going on, an occasion or something, but on the whole they just don't need it. So I don't know, you do what you need to do. I feel like this is a really long list, guys. If you are liking this video and you're finding it really informative, then please don't forget to give it a like, as it really helps my channel out, and I feel like I've been sat here for literal ages filming this. The next checklist I'm going to give you guys is bath time. One being a bath, cotton wool, a cup, something to just scoop or pour water over the baby, towels. One of the big must-have lifesaver things that we had was like a massive towel that you like clip up behind you, and then you bath your baby, and then when they're done you can pick them up, your clothes don't get wet, you can take off the towel, wrap it around them, and you just don't get wet. Yeah, get one of them. As they get a little bit older, washcloths just to give them a little wipe down. The next checklist is on the go. Obviously you need a car seat, a pushchair or a pram, whatever you want. A baby carrier. So for my baby shower, we actually got given an ergo carrier, and we love that. Like, we use that so much with Talia. It's just like a sling. Like, we had a black sling that I think we got off of like Chris's sister, and I loved that. I thought it was so good. It took me a while to know how to put it on properly, but once I could put it on, Talia was in there quite a lot of the time. So yeah, either like a baby sling or an ergo or something, just so you can carry a baby around. Changing bag, obviously that is a top must as well. A sunshade for car windows. Obviously in the summer you'll need something just so the sun isn't blinding your baby. Anyway, the last thing that I'm going to quickly talk about before my battery camera dies is baby health and safety checklist, which sounds extreme, but it's not. A first aid kit. Now, admittedly, we don't actually have a first aid kit. However, we do have most things like plasters, tweezers, thermometer, still aspirator, baby nail scissors or clippers, a soft bristled hairbrush. But that is my roundabout list of everything that you need all in one place to get your baby. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Yeah, if you did enjoy this and you want to see more from me, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I will be posting, well, I post every single Sunday, so yeah.